for sure, but Fnatic, I think, responding well. The Batrider is already pretty good against Nature's Prophet, and Jakiro also pretty good at holding on to those early towers. And Neon, okay, they will end up going for the Phantom Lancer. A little bit worried about the Bat, I suppose, but I don't even know if it looks like that good of a PL game. I actually think Jakiro is quite a good hero against Phantom Lancer, and Fnatic just going to counterpick him a little bit more with this Pangolier.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets lucky with the lucky shots, it's a very, very bad game for PL, at least pre-Manta style. There's not too much that you can do. If they're able to quickly lock you down, gives Jakiro a pretty easy ice path as well afterwards due to the reduced movement speed.
And all the AoE from Fnatic is already fantastic. Like, it's not going to be difficult at all to identify the real Phantom Lancer. There's going to be Firefly, there's going to be Macropyre, all of Pango's nukes.
Probably a Radiance as well being picked up on the Lifestealer.
To me, it feels like Neon are trying to play this for, like, an insanely strong sort of diffusal timing around the Phantom Lancer, and then just use the PL strength at that point in the game to try and completely run Fnatic over. You've got all this push coming in from the Nature's Prophet and the Leshrac as well, so hopefully some early tier 1 towers, and that's going to accelerate the blink on the Ursa and the Diffusal Blade on the Phantom Lancer even more, but I don't like their matchups later.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you have to kind of think of how they're going to lane this as well so that they can get to that, you know, mid-game stage as opposed to the late game. Really take full advantage of that, because is the Prophet just going to sit in lane and babysit and harass as much as he can, or is he actually going to go for the pickoffs and potentially push down these lanes? Because it's going to be very hard against a Batrider, which is looking like being in position 4.
Yeah, and how are they going to get kills as well?
Yeah,
like if they don't have maybe they get the Atos on the Lesh, or once PL gets his Diffusal, that's going to help a little bit. But before that point, Fnatic are. I think Fnatic are sitting pretty.
I like the Viper. I think that'd be a pretty decent pick here. You're able to use the Atos on the Pango, lock him down. Use the Batrider, lock him down. Still get the Viper Strike through onto the Lifestealer, really hinder his mobility. And then, of course, there's the Sprouts and everything else that comes after that. I think it gives you that early game pressure that you need, and not an easy win in the mid lane, but it definitely enables you to get to the later stages of the game.
Storm Spirit.
Storm coming in. We talked about it. Neon didn't really pick a whole lot of catch. There's not a whole lot of lockdown for this hero. And Storm Spirit to me is actually exceptionally good. Sometimes you see these drafts, and I often even have a little bit of difficulty judging them, because I look at these lineups where it's like a Nature's Prophet, DK, Lycan, or something, and it's just all in on this like 20-minute push end of the game. Storm Spirit gets so much stronger the closer you are to your base. Like if you lose early towers and a team is trying to like meme push you and end the game incredibly quickly, Storm Spirit gets such a huge effectiveness multiplier from just being at his tier 3 that he's such an amazing hero at finding that kind of high ground turnaround.
Yeah.
So even if the early game goes badly.
Not only can you delay things, right, by just zipping through Reap Wave and just essentially knocking it out, but you just have that fountain regen to be able to zip in, zip out, do it again. Going with a Kunkka, okay. So that is a bit of catch, I guess.
Yeah. If they don't have a way to... I don't think this is a particularly good matchup for Kunkka, actually. But especially since like Storm has very high base armor. And the way that Cleave works now, I don't think he's actually going to get harassed down too much. And it makes it tough for Kunkka to actually get up on the wave against all the Remnant spam. But yeah, and if you don't have anything to catch the Storm Spirit and punish him immediately, then you're just going to keep zipping into your backline, hitting them once or twice, zipping all the way back to the fountain, and just rinse repeating from there, and just kind of whittle you down. Because that's the one thing that Neon don't have is sustain, really. Their heroes aren't really going to be buying like a mech and a pipe and stuff. Maybe if the Prophet has an amazing start, he can get something.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, I feel like the Ursa is going to be the one lads this game just for that tiny bit of sustain. I think the Prophet, despite being the position 5, actually needs to go into an Orchid just to kind of force the Storm Spirit to go an early BKB. But are you going to be able to get
Maybe.
the farm to be able to do that? I don't think so.
I think the Prophet's just going to play 5, and then they'll try and get an Atos on the Lesh. But
Do you think that's enough though? Like
I
the Storm
don't
should
think
be
it
able-
is. I think this is a very free Storm game. That's my
Yeah.
opinion on this. I think Storm is looking really good, and I like Fnatic's. I like their D push. I like their team fight. I don't
They got
think
good catch.
Yeah, this is a really hard PL game. Like once it gets late, he's gonna get trapped in long duration ice path. He's gonna it's the disarm. There's the silence. There's the Storm Spirit bombing you from the other side of the map, even with a lifestealer infested as well. Like that's the other aspect that we haven't talked about here. Fnatic have picked fantastically to really enable infest bombs. Right? He can be in the Pango. He can be in the Batrider. He can be in the Storm Spirit. And when you've got all of that versatility in terms of the lifestealer potentially ganking with all of these different heroes, it makes it so it's not obvious at all, right? Sometimes people used to play like Slardar, Lifestealer, and it was always really obvious when you were getting ganked by the Slardar, because if the Slardar and the Lifestealer are off the map, then they're just ganking you. But you can't do that if you're Neon this game. There's no way of knowing if the Lifestealer is just AFK farming the triangle, or if he's infested into somebody trying to kill you.
And we've seen in Fnatic's previous games, they're not shy about, going with a 4-man gank and just leaving MP continue to accelerate his lead, just left alone. Just that level of unpredictability provides so much for your team that you just have to constantly be worried, and when you're constantly worried and on edge, you make mistakes. And I think that's what Fnatic are really trying to Neon this draft.
I like what they're doing here as well. They know that the Phantom Lancer is, well, I guess they think he's going to be safe lane for, they know he's going to be safe lane. So, not going to put the Batrider there, just instead going to have the Batrider down bottom, helping to keep the Ursa away from the Lifestealer. I don't even know if Neon would consider maybe swapping these lanes up a little bit, because they want the Ursa against the Lifestealer, but they don't want the Ursa against the Batrider.
Yeah.
So, okay, they are swapping it up
30
now, but
seconds to battle.
to me, this just means that it's going to make Lifestealer's life so much easier. And I don't think that this is a significantly harder lane for Pango, necessarily, against the Ursa.
Yeah. They scattered it out. That's one of the bonuses of having Nature's Prophet on your team. As we always talk about, it's the team that moves first tends to lose the matchup. Definitely don't want to do that, especially if you're coming up against a Batrider if you were to move.
Fnatic not being greedy at all. Just gonna settle for the 2-for-2 bounty trade at the beginning of the game here. As Neon... Okay, if they're gonna stay aggro like this, they gotta make sure to block these camps non-stop. Because they cannot let Fnatic pull and like start getting a little bit of a level advantage going. I think that would totally destroy them. Oh, and DJ's actually gonna go chasing after the Ursa. So Neon could still swap, like you've talked about previously. It's first mover's disadvantage in this kind of a situation, but...
They spotted him out and they're already harassing him.
Yep. Rappy. Okay.
Comes the PL.
Yeah, so there's the PL. Ursa now TPing back to bottom. Alright, I guess the idea is to pressure the Lifestealer if they can. See what happens. All of this might be a bit of a red herring, and I think it's actually Abed who's the game-winning hero this game. But
Yeah.
see what happens. So far, doing very well on mid.
Absolutely. I don't think we've had a single game where he's actually had a bad lane in.
Yeah, very true. And nice, safe item decisions here. Gonna ferry out a salve, and another set of tangos, just making sure that he doesn't get whittled down by the Kunkka. Definitely nice. He's just kind of waiting for that next Tidebringer cleave to pop this salve. Mark not giving it to him. Jab's already just spamming the dual breath. Both of their supports are so annoying. Like, look at this. DJ is actually... They're diving onto JL. If they could just get a little bit more experience, he'd get Firefly. I don't even know if they need it. These auto attacks are raining in.
Play hard on the back line.
Yeah.
Anything skill jet.
JL done. There you go. Sky Delicious, not a whole lot that he could really do to help him.
All the way onto the tower as well. Just the power of that swashbuckle and everything else coming along from the rest of the...
lively now. Your admiral is on board.
It's really interesting to see Batrider. I wonder if Batrider all of a sudden... I don't know if he's like all of a sudden coming to prominence, but it does feel like part of it might be that Oracle just got nerfed. Like, there is a possibility that Oracle was kind of keeping Batrider out of the meta somewhat. And now that people are playing less Oracle, or we've gotten to the point where people are always banning Oracle,
yeah,
the Batrider can all of a sudden be way more effective. Nice scan from Fnatic. They scouted out that this Leshrac was rotating over to mid, so Abed should be okay, but he is still a fairly long way forwards here. But he's playing it more defensively. He's not trying to run up and Remnant or anything. He's just grabbing farm while kind of pretending that he doesn't know that the Leshrac is there. They do have a point in the X now, though. Oh, Abed interrupting it so he doesn't get caught by the Torrent. Can he run away from the Split Earth? Don't know if he's going to be able to. Tries to juke it out. He does have a Fairy Fire to try and survive. He's sipping up. He's got a second bottle sip, actually, kind of juking for dear life. Still holding on to the Fairy Fire. Absolute nerves of steel on this man. Is anyone coming to help him, though? Not really. Is he going to get X'd again? Alright, Torrent in there, not gonna connect. Abed, just wondering where the help is coming from. Looks like it's just not gonna happen, and he will finally be brought down. They are instead just running at this Phantom Lancer up top. Nice kill.
But eventually he is dropping in. It's much more of an even matchup.
Tower is under attack.
Get rear kill? But the last hit game is going a lot more for Neon this time around. Kunkka, obviously, pretty decent mid laner. Doesn't have quite as many denies as he might have in this patch.
Yep. Rappy taking some damage bottom, but looks like he's going to be okay. Does have a salve. Okay, he's going to pop that to try and stay on the lane as play hard. He left him bottom for a little bit, so they did just kind of zone out the Ursa for a moment. Jabs, looks like he was trying for that. Trying to pull down, but didn't actually manage to get it. So it looks like the lane is still going to be pushing towards Neon just a little bit, which is definitely nice for them. Some more experience coming up underneath this tower, though. The wave pushing is going to keep them away from the bounties just a little bit. So we'll see what happens with these bounty rune spawns. I don't think they're contesting these top bounties against... oh, didn't get the right proc. Just able to TP out. Alright, they are trying to battle them for these bounties here, but Playhard taking a lot of damage. Jabs also getting slapped down in return, though. And Playhard, can he actually just run this off? He's got another stun available. And looks like that is going to end up being... Okay, so MP got this one. Yeah, 3 for Fnatic.
I don't think they mind that at all. Like, yes, it means probably a little bit less in terms of net worth, but I think...
Doppelganger used, but... One more Spirit Lance, and Sky Delicious finds himself a free kill on Ice Ice Ice.
I feel like Jabs was just doing so much more in that bot lane by just being alive that it was worth the kill, even if it meant using a bounty. It's an Ursa, which doesn't want to be slowly. That's one of his big advantages, is faster than the enemy core, and also just the ability to push out a lot of the treants that were being used in that bot lane as well.
Abed almost has his 6. Just gonna retreat into the jungle to grab that. We might even be getting to the point where he just considers staying in the jungle. A whole lot more, you know, push out the mid wave as necessary, but other than that, just kind of farming up at this point. They just brought a ton of pressure down here. They do have 1 point in the Edicts, 2 points up in the Treants. Rappy just gonna take this as an opportunity to try and dive underneath the tower, looking towards Jabs. DJ TPing his way down, though. Choosing not to reveal himself with the sticky just yet. Staying in the trees, waiting to see perhaps if there's going to be another dive coming in. But not for now.
Not for now.
Yeah.
And we can see just like the power of actually having that early game influence. You know, the Phantom Lancer, who we're thinking probably isn't going to have as much as what we thought, is number 1 in the net worth chart at this point. A lot of that is through some of the harass that's coming out.
He's actually just running it. Nice.
Yeah. Is he going into, excuse me, a Maelstrom? on the Pangolier just to try and clear out as many of these illusions as possible. Or he could just stay the straight Javelin.
Yeah, it's a nice farming item either way for SSI, so we'll have to see what he opts for. Kunkka just going for some phase boots over at mid. What do we got? Jab's running up here. He's got an Observer Ward, fairly transparent that he wants to put this down. Nice Doppelganger is actually going to get Skydalicious out of the dual breath immediately and straight into that kill. That is another 250 gold for him, and Mark is now coming up here looking for something. Can they slow him down? They need to give some bottle sips to the Phantom Lancer so he can get off another slow, but
TP coming through here.
Go for it, and now Skydalicious. Oh, ice. Just off the mark with the swashbuckle. I think he may have shift queued that after the TP, but that could have been a kill for sure.
Absolutely. But the boat wasn't used by Mark, so a little bit of wasted time through that rotation. Just gives Abed that time to try and accelerate a little bit more, going towards the power treads first and foremost. Just adding to his survivability drops. And what are we thinking he might build up after this? Is he going to go into something like an Orchid, or
I think he's just straight into Kaya, and then
yeah.
I'm not sure about Orchid. I think it might just be like Kaya Bloodstone. I guess we'll have to see. Depends on the timings, right? If the PL is gonna have like a Manta and stuff like that, then I don't really think that the Orchid is going to be too amazing. He can kill the supports without one. So we'll see what ends up happening.
Radiant's middle tower is
but so far, Neon doing pretty well in the early game. The Phantom Lancer having as good of a start as he is certainly scary. But he's not going straight into Diffusal here. He is, in fact, opting for something a little bit different. Oh, they don't quite get the silence, but looks like they can still get this kill. Abed, I like the skill build here. Is opting for more points up in the overload, so a little bit better at ganking. Oh, Ice. One more touch from Jail is going to bring him down. Abed just forced to saunter his way back to the tower. But yeah, I think if you want to be maximum greed on Storm Spirit, you'll sometimes see the Static Remnant maxed, but Abed choosing to max the overload first this game keeps his options open to try and find a few more ganks and actually connect with his team to find some kills.
Yeah, and that Electric Vortex as well. Just the increased pull distance, no longer slowing the hero, and down reduction as well. Just makes that one value early on much better.
Oh,
it's coming up actually.
Bounty's coming up, and Ice TPing for the bottle refill, so keeping Abed in fighting shape. And there's an Arcane Rune over here. Alright, that's pretty scary.
DJ down here in bot lane.
Looking for him. Rappy just kind of move clicking him for now. Abed now coming down here with the Arcane. Rappy does have the Enrage, but he won't be able to get it off. He's just dead. Oh no, Rappy. Being the savior for his team in the last couple of games that we've seen, but not so there.
Not so, and DJ being his annoying best, you know, just taking up so much time. He might go down for it, but his job's done. For now.
Okay, so it looks like this tier 1 tower is probably dead. Fnatic not really getting a tier 1 tower of their own anywhere. They are doing their best with the 3 points up in Liquid Fire from jabs to push things out a little bit. I'm not actually sure how much I like this Jakiro build. I hope he starts going back for some points in the Ice Path before too long. Though this could indicate that they're not really planning on fighting too much. Oh, fire getting dropped down. Play hard. Do they have enough damage? He's pretty tanky with the double crown. But also getting caught by the stun here as the Edict continues to do damage. Mark gonna bring him back into the Torrent, and the Lesh being as tanky as he was, they were not expecting that. JL still holding 10 stick charges in reserve in case he got gone on, but nice turnaround.
They did get Rappy in the top lane, had to use the lasso to be able to do it, but still okay trade, I would say. 2 for 1.
That's certainly not bad.
Yeah, I get what you mean with regards to the Jakiro as well. You know, with that skill build, he actually went 1-0-3 early on. Yeah, Liquid Fire maybe being more maxed out, probably just trying to disrupt the Ursa's right click as much as he can, maybe force more uses of the Enrage out.
Jump in here, Storm wanted that regen and he is going to get it.
Sorry, not the Rage, the Overpower.
Yeah. MP now has his Midas. Not the best timing, not nearly as much space created for him this game, and he has a big angry bear just running at him all the time. But
pretty good counter to the Ursa. I mean, to the lifestealer is the Ursa.
Oh no.
Well, that's not good.
Oh, Neon.
Not like this.
Oh no. Well, the auto pause helping out.
Well, that's nice. I believe they're Filipino, right? So hopefully everything's okay for them.
I think so. Should know this, but
so let's have a quick look through all the heroes. Like what are they building into? What could be the possible step? We can see the hero going for the Yule Scepter, pretty standard. Kaya on Storm. Pango, as Ice keeps his cards held pretty close to his chest. Stealer again, just
no surprises.
Minus Radiance. Batrider going the blink. Yeah, all pretty standard so far on Fnatic. As you said, it's not the straight diffusal going on the that shows him go into the Yasha. Do you think he will go diffusal now, or do you think he'll actually opt to go maybe into a Manta style?
I'm not sure. I think he might complete the full Manta first, but we'll have to see. I do think that like the Yasha is definitely a better farming item than Diffusal is.
Yep.
And Manta is also a bit better than that, though. It looks like he is maybe just gonna go straight into Diffusal. I guess the Yasha is still a good farming item.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he just had the Diffusal, but he's still getting kills without it. So.
What are you thinking about this like multiple drum build that comes out? Looks like probably it's going to be, yep, the way that the Ursa goes. They've already got it completed onto the Kunkka. Do you not feel like it overlaps a little bit if you get it so early into the game?
I think it's fine. I think he goes to these here. Oh, he's trying to go in onto play hard here. Needs to be a little bit careful. Abed really wanting this kill. Has to hold a little bit of mana reserve. If he can get away, he does have a regen. So long zip and then maybe make his way back in. Zips away, pops the regen. They need to be careful on Neon about re-engaging here. That would be a very dangerous prospect. They've also got DJ TPing in. The other thing I think is fine is that the Ursa and the Kunkka aren't necessarily always going to be playing together, so I don't think it's a huge deal if they both have a drum. Yeah, I can't think of an item that I would want to see more necessarily. Like Kunkka kind of wants the mana regen, and the Ursa also a little bit as well. Maybe you could get a slightly faster blink on the Ursa, but
Lads on the Ursa? I feel like that would be alright as well.
Yeah, I think it would be okay. I think the thing for the Ursa is that if you're going this build where you don't get any points in Earthshock, then I think you need all the move speed you can possibly get. Because you are 100% dedicated to, I have to go faster than the other guy, otherwise you just don't get kills.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Ice Frog's definitely doing him some favors just with the base movement speed.
Oh yeah, you want 15 move speed? Yeah, go for it. It's
sure. Fun. And changing everything to percentage based, or most things, with the phase boots as well, just means that any sort of base improvement that they have is just multiplied further and further as you get later on.
Ooh, Jab's trying to defend this tower, but he's gonna get caught out by JL, so looking like a free kill here. Neon, this is what you have to be careful of. Finding this timing with the Nature's Prophet and the Edict. They're just straight onto this tier 2. Fnatic still giving away bits and pieces here and there. Abed soaking up some more farm. Over at top, they've actually caught out the Pangolier. Ice in a bit of trouble. Is going to go for the Rolling Thunder to get on out of here. And now just going for the TP. Mark's still chasing after him the entire time with the haste, but
just making sure.
JL, TP's in. Both of his teleports are actually on cooldown, but MP not gonna try and do anything over much to him. Just keep on farming. Pretty slow Radiance timing, but again, didn't have the best lane. Kind of a slow Midas, so to be expected.
You can never count on Ice to actually do what you expect it to. I think is the reason why Mark was actually chasing him down for so long.
That's true. If you had just run away, he may have actually cancelled and then just stayed top to cut a few more waves. Like,
yeah,
that would be. You got to make sure to escort him all the way out of your side of the map. Otherwise, he's just gonna hang around. Okay, they've got the medallion now on the Nature's Prophet. Very good Roshan potential for Neon, especially now that they've taken out the mid-tier 1 tower. So they really have opened up the pit a lot, though they do need to be careful about playing in there, because Fnatic's lineup is insane around the Roshan pit. They've got the AoE combination of the Jakiro, they've got the Pangolier rolling around, and then they've got the Batrider as well, who is just sort of the perennial king of the Roshan pit.
And they'll have the Radiant soon as well, which, you know, that entire team fight's going to be a lot of... Like, if the PL illusions weren't going to be going down to all of that other AoE damage, the Radiants will definitely go.
Oh, they're smoking up. They don't have the Diffusal Blade delivered just yet. Ice continuing to make space. Hasn't TP'd out, though. And that's what they're banking on. They're still looking for him. He's got a Swashbuckle off cooldown, though, so... Actually, they're looking for a turnaround. DJ with his Blink Dagger available, gonna come in. They're looking under Rappy first. He gets silenced and just gets popped. Not quite. Actually gets the Enrage off. With those stick charges, it's taking them a little bit more time and a little bit more mana from Abed. He's gonna try for the TP out, but he didn't have enough left in the tank. Still, they do manage to bring down the Lesh, and now Phantom Lancer chasing in. MP is here. They got the disarm over onto him. Ice, waiting for cooldowns. I don't think he's going to get the time for it, though. MP, if he dies here, that is going to be his Hand of Midas activation wasted. DJ, alright, he's got another Firefly. Just needs to try and get the Blink Dagger back off cooldown, but Scottalicious finds him, and that's going to be a double kill for your Phantom Lancer. This is an insanely strong timing for the PL. They couldn't quite pop the Ursa fast enough, and Fnatic are going to pay the price for that.
Absolutely. They don't even have the glyph either, using it on the tier 2 in the mid lane, so pretty safe for Neon and Scatterlicious to be able to just take this one down. Don't worry about having creeps next to him.
Yeah, he's getting very far. This is actually very scary. I do think Fnatic's lineup still addresses the Phantom Lancer fairly well, but it's a completely different situation if the PL has like a heart and a butterfly way too early. Then even just the heart, it's gonna make it much more difficult to bring him down. And he just picks up another free kill. Mega kill streak already for this Phantom Lancer. Abed's jumping around, but only about 400 mana left in the tank, and Mark is looking for him. Okay, just needs to make sure he times this properly. He's faking him out though. Just a super long zip. Abed being 100% safe about that.
Goes that tower. They do have the glyph available again. Didn't pop the Diabolic Edicts though, so still have it now after the glyph wears off.
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty quick. Alright, well,
and down I go.
I talked up the potential of the Storm Spirit once it comes to high ground defense, and it looks like they might be needing that a little bit sooner rather than later. Abed is going to be going for the Orchid next. So that is the selection for him. Maybe punish the Prophet and the Leshrac a little bit more. But yeah, here comes
like they know that it's going on though. DJ's walking closely towards it. Has the blink, has the lasso.
Oh, Rappy gets bashed. Are they gonna go for it? Need to be careful. There could be the X marks the spot to counter initiate. So he doesn't want to do anything too stupid. And DJ,
it's a nice deep ward off as well.
Actually, yeah, they get some really good information going. This is still taking a little while for Neon. Oh, Macropyre now in the pit. Rappy just wants to commit for this, though. Scottalicious taking some damage. Ice thinks about going in, gonna jump over the wall, straight in, double kill for Abed! Fnatic cleaning up this fight, no problem. Aegis of the Immortal picked up for Ice. Oh no, Neon. Just going for the Roshan without a pick off first. They thought that they were strong enough, but Fnatic way too good in the pit area. Not only are they going to get those 3 kills and the Aegis, I think they're now going to get the majority of these bouncy runes as well. Maybe Prophet can grab some bottom, but... Oh, and an Arcane rune for good measure. Why not?
That's disgusting. It doesn't look like he's too interested in getting too many of them. Batrider's even going to get there beforehand.
You are so dead, friends.
Yep.
Oh my god, is that almost the entire Orchid?
Yep.
For Abed? Oh my word. 3 bounties, plus 3 kills, plus the Roshan. Storm Spirit's net worth just skyrocketed.
Before that fight, the only opponent that he had was the Robot guy.
Yeah.
He's got everything else.
Oh my god. Alright, there you go. It's time for Storm Spirit to start taking over the game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the power of information. We saw that ward go down really deep, nicely done by DJ. It just gave them complete vision of what exactly the supports on Neon were doing, and, you know, just the vision advantage is just so overwhelming. All of these sentry wards being put down in incorrect positions by Neon. All of the vision's on the top side of the map.
Oh, jabs. Alright, he's gonna die to Mark, but down at bottom, fight breaking out. They are looking to focus in onto this Phantom Lancer. He's being silenced. And he's now dead. Reign of Terror over. They're chasing a little bit further forward. Abed's still got so much mana. He's just jumping around on everyone. Rappy looking to bring down Ice Ice Ice. Can they actually do it? The boat's going to come flying in. But that's just the Aegis for the Pangolier. And Rappy, I think, has overstayed his welcome at this point. Enrage gets popped, but DJ there with the body blocks. Missed swashbuckle from Ice Ice Ice. He was going for the creep camp farm anyway. And Fnatic now looking like they are firmly in control of this game. Got the Radiance up. Yeah.
That Radiance is going to do so much work on Stealer. And, you know, just standard, he's building into what looks like the Halberd next. Got the Sange queued up. Just wants to make that Ursa a complete non-factor.
I think he might. He's actually got the Yasha already picked up on the crew, so it looks like. Yeah, nah, not a big deal. He could still go for both again. No real reason not to. Oh, Pango needing to be careful at mid. Swashbuckle coming back off cooldown soon, but not fast enough. Gets caught by the Atos and will be brought down. Nice. Forces some rotations over. Does give Jabs a little bit of an opportunity to come in here and put down a relatively deep ward, but we'll see if any of these get de-warded anytime soon. Oh, Abed is just on the move, finding kills, brings down Scottalicious, and doesn't even back down. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana. He's body blocking him with the illusions. One more zip's gonna do it. That is Abed finding a solo double kill over at top. This Storm Spirit pick is now out of hand, Danog.
Yeah, I mean, you had a rough time, right, before he had the farm, and now that you don't have catch and he has farm, and some of that can be put towards him having an arcane route, but it's not the whole story.
Oh,
look at this, Conker picked up as well.
Straight into the sentry ward, throws out the boat, not gonna do a damn thing. DJ chasing forward, they've got another open wounds in 5 seconds, and the sticky stacks are building on play hard. Rappy wants to try and help here. They're gonna throw out the Edict to do a little bit of damage onto MP. Doesn't really matter. The silence now coming in under the Ursa. Abed arrives on the fight and just secures yet another kill. Jumps himself back out. Scottalicious just doing his best to fight it out. MP did not remember to turn off his Radiance before infesting in there, but he doesn't even need to retreat. He's fine. Finds himself a quick double kill, and we're now up to already a 10k net worth lead for Fnatic. This has all happened in like the last 6 or 7 minutes.
I mean, probably, yeah, about 5 or so.
Dire's middle tower.
Oh yeah, true. That's only 6 minutes.
4.5 minutes, because that's when Roshan went down.
Oh man.
So what was, I believe, like a 2k net worth lead has turned into 10, 11k. You can see it's just going to expand further with that Radiance. The Sange picked up already there. It's still in the stash, but
this just feels like, you know, Neon have had their legs swept out from underneath them, and they still just can't get up. They keep getting kicked and kicked and kicked while they're down. And now the split push is going to start. Batrider shoving lanes, Storm Spirit shoving lanes. I don't really know how they're going to start getting outside of their side of the map. Looking at Ice Ice Ice, but again, Abed just coming in here, looking to focus onto Rappy. Can they keep him locked down? Have they found the real Phantom Lancer? They have, but Abed couldn't quite get the Vortex onto him. Over on the other side of the fight, they're looking towards MP. They got to keep the damage on him. They don't have the lockdown. He pops out of Ice 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 just to continue fighting. Abed down to about a third mana. They've now got the lasso onto the Ursa, controlling him during the enrage, looking to bring him down. Jabs, great 2-man ice path. They lock down the Nature's Prophet. And Fnatic looking to punch that ticket into the playoff portion of your SEA qualifiers. Mark is retreating out of here, but DJ's actually still hot on his tail. Won't quite find him in time. But Fnatic
if those creeps killed him, I would have. I mean, you couldn't have actually asked for too much of a better fight there. Like, if you're on Neon's side, like they got a boat off. I think 3 or 4 of them got hit by the Coco Rum.
After the Orchid.
They saved the Ursa. They were fighting on top of the shrine when it was activated. All of them were there, and they still come out the losers. that just shows how much it swung in the favor of Fnatic, and doesn't look like changing too much anytime soon. Nearly got the Vitality booster picking up by Abed, so that'll be the Bloodstone picked up next. It's just looking like a highway to nowhere here, Neon.
Yeah. They're completely trapped inside of their base. They have no vision on the map whatsoever, so Fnatic are just off farming in the dark, picking up bounty runes, getting another arcane rune, because, you know, why not?
Why not, you know? DJ's pinging it out. He might have to take it. Oh.
Defense of the arcane rune.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the regen on Storm is so crazy now that he's got the...
Yeah, he's probably going to pop the shrine, just...
Oh man.
They're going to look to get onto this Lishrak.
Oh, the Phantom Blitzer in big trouble, getting chain locked down, and then Abed jumping into the backlines. Quick kill on the Lesh, jumping over everything. Rappy doing his best with the auto attacks, but Abed, they just don't have the control for him. Ice bouncing around everywhere on his Pango. And Neon, they know that they're done. They're gonna have to go and lick their wounds and take another opportunity.
Quick disconnect from the PL as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where you feel like they did actually have a decent early game, right? They were leading for the first 10 to, let's say, 12 or so minutes. But, you know, Fnatic, just that Roche fight was a huge turnaround. Great vision provided by DJ, great presence in the team fight, and just that initiation coming from Ice.
Yeah, I think even... Oh, and I just got a conduct...
summary.
Yeah, no, not a conduct summary. A report just came back. Thanks for making Dota 2 community a friendlier place. Oh, and another one. Oh yes, this is
the best feeling, right?
This is the best day ever. There you go. And I know exactly who it was, as well. I know which, because I think I've only reported 2 players in like the last 5 days. So
wasn't me, was it?
No, it wasn't you. You're fine, buddy.
All right, good.
Yeah, but Fnatic. There you go. I don't even know if they needed to win that Roshan fight to win this game, to be honest. Like, I just think that their matchups against the PL, even though he had an amazing start, just they had the heroes to deal with him. Rappy on the Ursa, we also saw him getting kited around in circles, and it felt like the supports after a certain point just weren't finding any pickoffs or anything. Neon were kind of struggling to actually get kills. And the Storm Spirit, to me, just felt like it was always going to end up taking over this game. So long as Abed didn't, feed too much or anything. And it's a hard game to feed on Storm, to be honest. Unless you're just playing way too aggressively.
It just balled out of control. And, kudos to MP. I think he's probably the MVP of the series. 1 death across both games. So it's always going to be pretty advantageous if you've got a lifestealer like that. And played essentially 4 games of Lifestealer, having a very similar time in each and every one of them.
And it feels like nobody has successfully counterpicked it either, right? We've
just ban it.
We've seen all kinds of different attempts. We've seen these Ursas coming out. We've seen Bane getting picked. It really just doesn't feel like anyone has a concrete answer to MP's, I guess the Fnatic Lifestealer as well. Because it's not just MP playing it, but it's also the way that Fnatic are moving and creating all of this space around him that he can always get away with the Midas every time. Part of it is Lifestealer as a hero. He fights really well with just the Midas if the situation requires it, but I also have to give a lot of props to Fnatic for the way that they move on the map and create all of this farm for MP.
Yeah, of course. And with the Midas, right, it's not just the fact that it gives you a good lot of amount of experience and farm and that sort of thing. It's actually one of the fastest ways to increase your attack speed, right, in the entire game. There's not much else. I think it's just Hyperstone, basically, that's better. And Moonshot.
Yeah, it's actually very valuable. And Lifestealer does a lot with all that attack speed. So that about wraps it up for us. There are more SEA qualifier games happening. There's still a second place decider match to happen here, so Neon are not out. But unfortunately, we don't have enough channels to keep everything going, so we're actually going to clear out. That is that's the end of it for us for today. But there's more China to watch if you want. There's more SEA to watch if you want. And if you wait a little bit, EU and CIS are both kicking off. So I think we'll have some fantastic casters on to take care of you guys for all of that. But it's going to wrap it up for me and Danog. Danog, any other closing thoughts? Plug your social media, anything else?
I guess if I have to. Yeah, if I have to. Follow me on Twitter, Danog Dota. Yeah, no, it was really good to be able to cast the Disneyland major qualifiers, and Fnatic just showing why they are one of the top teams in the world. Interested to see how things go. Obviously, we're casting this, so we haven't had much chance to watch the other side of bracket, I guess you could say, with Group B. But I don't want to give any spoilers, so make sure you look on Liquipedia or wherever else if you are interested in seeing them, or tune in on Beyond the Summit here on.
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed all of the casts, and we'll hopefully catch you for some more Dota action sometime soon. But like I said, lots more Dota for you to go and watch. Have a good one.